a relationship that hasn't lasted quite as long as the one between the Steelers and Ben Roethlisberger continues in San Francisco. Jimmy Garoppolo, the starting quarterback, under contract for 2 more years. Plenty of speculation about the 49ers looking to upgrade. John Lynch, the team's general manager, appearing on the Eye Test for 2 podcast with Clark Judge and Ira Kaufman, had this to say about Jimmy Garoppolo's immediate future.
If he's injury-free, is there any doubt in your mind that Jimmy Garoppolo is your quarterback when you line up in September?
No, not at all. I mean, I really believe that he, I just look at the numbers. I mean, he's 24-9, 25-9 when he's played. The being available is a big part of this thing. So like I said, we probably, as a stated goal, we have to insulate ourselves better, and we got to have better options if he's not there. But, I've watched people go through this in the career where they struggle. It happened to me early, and then I went 8 years without missing a practice. So I believe that things can happen. I believe they will for him. And I really believe that Jimmy is our guy.
I am reminded of the classic opening argument in the trial at the conclusion of My Cousin Vinny when Joe Pesci's character says everything that guy said is BS, but he didn't say BS. And he said thank you. And the entire opening argument was then stricken from the record except thank you. John Lynch said what he had to say. He said what he had to say. He's not going to come out and say, we're looking for an upgrade. He's not going to say that, because then you undermine your guy before you get your upgrade. And you also undermine your ability to get an upgrade. You have to play it cool. You have to act like he's our guy. He's due to make $25 million this year. Chris, no one's paying him $25 million. If no one's paying Big Ben $19 million, no one's paying Jimmy G in his 23 missed games over the last 3 years $25 million. Not this year.
No, maybe not, but it's still a very manageable number. It's not, to me, that won't be the thing that ends up getting him off the San Francisco 49ers or anything like that. Listen, he doesn't have to say they're looking to upgrade. We know. Jimmy knows. We know. We've heard. They were in the market for Matthew Stafford. We hear the rumblings about the Deshaun Watson. So, okay, those two. Yes, if you can get those 2 quarterbacks, I mean, listen, Jimmy G's got to be somewhat realistic here and go, well, yeah, I'm good, but I'm not Matt Stafford or Deshaun Watson, so I understand the team looking at that. He's got to have that realization there, let alone to know that I have been injured. But after you get to those 2 guys, I mean, there's nobody out there right now you can sit there and just go, they're definitively better than Jimmy G, right? I mean, at least not to me. I mean, Sam Darnold, if he became available from the Jets, that certainly would be a good conversation. And I think he does bring, physical tools to the field that maybe Jimmy G does not have. Jimmy G is a fringe top half of the league quarterback, 16 through 20, somewhere in there. All right. And of course, he knows the system. The team does like him. And I guess what I'm saying is, I think they're going to stick with Jimmy G unless something gets presented to them that's just obvious. And I think the other thing that he said that was interesting there, Mike, and the big thing, and this is to me where, the 49ers really got to do this, no more C.J. Beathard's and Nick Mullins. That's over. Bye. See you later. We need to get somebody in there that is a proven commodity to a degree. You got to protect your team this year. We can't just go with those guys. Whether that's an Andy Dalton or a Ryan Fitzpatrick or somebody like that that's on the market, you've got to have at least a good backup behind Jimmy G this year to protect your team and to protect their jobs, Shanahan and John Lynch.
Yeah, I agree with you. And the other side of it, too, we can't just gloss over the 23 missed games.
No,
the games he missed in 2018 were the direct result of stupidity on his part, misguided machismo. When he's getting toward the sidelines, he decides he wants to drop a shoulder and deliver a blow instead of getting the hell out of bounds, and he tears his ACL. I remember watching that with you. We thought he hurt his shoulder.
Right.
We thought he injured his shoulder.
Yeah.
And he's got a torn ACL because he had to be a tough guy and plant his leg and deliver a blow and blow out his knee in the process. That's all on him. And John Lynch compared Garoppolo's struggles to stay healthy with Lynch's. Lynch is out there throwing his body at anything that moves. Garoppolo plays the position that is in bubble wrap relative to other positions. There's no excuse for not being available each and every week. Yes, there can be a fluke like Bernard Pollard coming in low and coming in hot and tearing Tom Brady's ACL to start the 2008 season when Pollard was playing for the Chiefs and Brady was gone just like that. But
it's
these
real
injuries, it's got to be a factor when you assess who else is available. One of the big check marks in favor of the alternative option is we think this guy can line up and play. I mean,
Sure.
I don't think the Vikings are going to move Kirk Cousins because they don't have a better alternative. But I think if Cousins was available, I think your guy Kyle would jump on him in a heartbeat. And you know what? Cousins doesn't miss games. Cousins lines up and plays every single week.
Yes, he does.
Cousins knows how to avoid taking big hits and getting himself pretzeled up and getting himself injured.
Yeah, I don't disagree with what you said there. I mean, Cousins is a clear upgrade from Jimmy G, in my opinion. You know, we just talked, I think Cousins, like we said yesterday, he's a fringe top 10 quarterback, you know, in that area where we just talked Jimmy G, at least for my money, is somewhere between 16, 21, somewhere like that. So there is a difference there. And, hey, listen, the injury thing, you know, you can be unlucky. You can be unlucky to what John Lynch is saying, you know, to a degree. Hey, my own father, the first 5 years of his career, he battled injury. Now, you know, the quarterback position was a lot different then. There was no rules to protect you. But, you know, he did have that little stigma around him. And then 1984, fifth year of his career comes around, and all of a sudden he kind of justified it. But this is the play you're talking about, Kansas City. Last year, you know, of course, against the New York Jets. And then let's not forget, in his chance during the suspension for Tom Brady, he got hurt in the first half of the second game he started for them that year too. So that would worry me. There's no doubt about that. But I think where they stand with everything, where their team is at, you know, I expect Jimmy G to be their quarterback unless something just obvious presents itself. And to me right now, the only thing out there that's actually obvious is Deshaun Watson. And the 49ers traded away picks last year to get an extra pick in the first round. You know, I don't know if they have the assets to make that type of move. They'd probably have to trade a number of players on their team to try to get Deshaun Watson. And I don't know if it's worth it to do that either. So I think they're going to have Jimmy G back unless something shocking happens. But the big thing is, and to your point, they got to have an insurance policy this year. You got to. You can't roll the dice on a guy that, he's young and I like him and I think he could be something. No, we need something we know, and he can come in and your team won't miss a beat if Jimmy G does go down.
The Jets reportedly are going to explore all of the options that will be available to them at quarterback in the draft before deciding what to do with Sam Darnold, the third overall pick in 2018.
Yeah.
If the Jets decide we're going to take a quarterback, whether it's Zach Wilson or someone else with the second overall pick, and Sam Darnold is available, is he an upgrade in your mind over Jimmy G?
Yes.
In that offense?
Yes, he is. He is. Sam Darnold, lightning quick release, and he is awesome in the pocket. He is awesome. He is like a Manny Pacquiao in the pocket, the way he can hop around and do things like that, to where, I think he is an upgrade, as a player over Jimmy G. I definitely do. And listen, I think this is going to end up being a real possibility because Zach Wilson, I'm in the early. Zach Wilson's really impressive, Mike. He's really impressive. The gap between him and Trevor Lawrence is not as great as I thought, just after watching really basically some highlight type film on him the last few days. It's not as great as I thought, and I'm interested to dive in here because it's a little closer than I thought it was going to be too. This kid's got something to him. There's no doubt about it. He's got some pizzazz, some flair, an awesome arm, and he's got this Mahomes magic. So I would think the Jets are going to watch film of Zach Wilson and go, whoa, wait, do we want to take this guy? And this is something to watch out for here over the next few weeks or months or as we lead up to the draft.
Can't help but wonder whether or not the Texans are going to watch film and say, do we want to take the second overall pick from the Jets and give him Deshaun Watson plus whatever else the Jets would give us for Deshaun Watson and take Zach Wilson? I think as people wake up to that could change dynamics for a lot of teams.
Yep.
But here's the bottom line.
Right.
If and when the 49ers upgrade over Jimmy G, it's not like anyone is going to bash John Lynch over the head with the words that he used recently about Jimmy G.
No.
He said what he had to say under the circumstances. No different than Carson Wentz being referred to by Howie Roseman on January 4 as a finger on your hand and then chopping that finger off weeks later. You say what you have to say given the circumstances you find yourself in, and they gain nothing by saying, well, you know what, if we could find an upgrade over Jimmy G, he wouldn't be the quarterback week one. You're going to say until you have the two in the bush in your hand that the bird in the hand is the one who is going to be running the offense.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.